think that Joshua Zirkzee, he didn't do well. He hasn't done well so far at Old Trafford. But booing him, that's just trash. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. This is the weekend review, and we have something special coming along this episode too. Happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, all of that, happy Hanukkah, all of that good stuff. You have me as always, your host Tosin, alongside Coach, and Lethal Shooter is with us today. So
he understands it now. Don't let him see what shirt you're wearing, though. That doesn't bode well for endorsements. But yeah, he definitely understands it now.
Fellas, how's everyone doing? I feel like it's been a minute since I've seen your beautiful Nigerian faces. Everyone's doing well?
Oh, he definitely understands. He doesn't understand shit. He's not responding. Fair enough.
I was gonna say who doing well? You doing well? I mean, you coughing. I'm doing great. Yeah, so no complaints here.
Yeah, I'll be real. I've been sick. Don't stay around kids during the holidays, guys, because you will get sick.
That's why I don't pay child support.
Yeah, that's the best advice I can give. But I love my niece so much. She's quite literally the best human being on the planet. So there's that.
Yeah. All right. In a world where Bukayo Saka exists, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's go to Italy, man. In Serie A, Empoli and Genoa was 2-1. Milan Baji and Caleb Ekuban. Funko Patrick got a good little result over there, so good Funko Patrick.
Yeah.
It seems that Balotelli's leaving and might be going to Mexico. So, yeah.
Well, I could have told you that, man. That shit was never lasting. As soon as Uncle Patrick touchdown, that shit was never lasting.
How's he going to Mexico though? Who the fuck does he think he is? Like fucking what's that fat striker that used to play for
Gignac?
Yeah. That's like Mexico isn't for everybody, man. Like they're gonna remind you're a nigga real quick, buddy.
El Negro Loco.
There you go. That shit.
Parma beat Monza 2-1. Getting rid of Nesta did nothing because they lost again. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, it's a shame. Like, Alessandro Nesta was one of the most indomitable defenders to ever walk Earth during his prime. But as a manager, especially when that team was losing, well, they're still losing, he just looked so helpless and powerless. It just wasn't good for his personal aura. Like, I'm glad they fired him. Like, he can go live his best life doing literally anything else but coaching Monza. Like, because I mean, when you got to rely on Pablo Mari to get results, I don't know what they expect from this nigga. Like, I really don't.
Yo, I legit forgot about Pablo Mari until I saw the game. I was like, oh wait, Pablo Mari exists. I forgot about him.
Yeah, man. People only care about that dude when he gets stabbed. That's crazy. Y'all niggas wild, man.
I'll tell you, there's one striker that has not forgot about him. He cannot wait to play him again. So.
Romelu.
Oh, he's coming.
He's coming.
Inter beat Cagliari 3-0. Inter still in the title race. Everyone is rooting for Atalanta, but Inter's still there. Bastoni scored a wonderful looping header. Lautaro Martinez fixed his feet and got a goal, and Hakan Çalhanoğlu scored a penalty. Unfortunately, Thuram didn't score because he knew coach was going to say something. So don't even say it. Don't, because I'm going to call you anti-black.
I ain't saying shit. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's very, very, very telling that, you know, when Atalanta, you know, drop points, whatever, and then, you know, somebody else steps up to capitalize. It's crazy to me.
It sounds racist.
I don't know. Nobody knows what you said, bro. Nobody.
Oh, like, but Marcus does. Marcus definitely does.
Well, I will say is that the other thing Marcus knows is that he's also at the top of the scoring charts in Italy. So, you know what? Put that in your pipe and smoke it, boss. Boss man, Big Bell.
Lazio won, Atalanta won. This was a very good game for me because the 2 Yoruba boys did something special. Sayo Dele Bashiru scored. Good finish. And Ademola Lookman set up the assist for the tying goal. So, yeah, they looked a bit, I don't even know how to explain it, looked a bit off in that game.
So I have a theory, and this is what my fear was. While they're still obviously top, Atlanta have definitely peaked. So that's my hot take, should I say, for this week. They've definitely peaked, but they've peaked and they're drawing games, not losing them, which is good. So they should be able to find form again. But Atlanta, I'm gonna put a bet on, should I say, mentally, and say that they won't play as well as they have first half of the season, second half of the season. But they should still get results, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, they won 10 games in a row at one point domestically, besides that loss to Real Madrid in Europe.
Yeah.
So at some point, they were bound to cool off. It's just the nature of the game. It's not that they're bad or that they've lost energy.
Exactly, yeah.
And people have a lot of tape on you. People are going to try to stop you, especially when you're at the top of the table, you know, unless you're Chelsea, but we'll get to that later.
Do you know who they don't have a lot of tape on in Italy? Che Adams. They 2-2. Che Adams managed to score again. This guy moved to Italy and has been just acting brand new. You know?
Man, it's that Scottish Italian connection, man. Those countries have a spiritual kinship. That means that when the Scotsmen go to Italy, they shine, you know. So good on him, man.
You know what the kinship is? It's just passion. It's just passion. That's all it is.
I swear you were going to say passion. Oh, no, wait. I swear you were going to say pasta. My bad.
No, they cook at the haggis. They cook at the pasta.
The Scotsman don't cook at the pasta. They cook at the haggis. Okay. Okay. All right.
They don't even use
I understand it now. I understand it.
In the April spritz, they use Ivan Brew.
Oh my god! By the way, Iron Brew is an underrated drink. Like for real, it is. It's actually quite wonderful, ice cold. But yeah, you Yanks don't know anything about that.
No, I don't. Like, I mean, look at how I'm dressed. Do I look like I've embraced poverty at any point in my life? No. No.
Man, Napoli beat Venezia 1-0, barely. They got a goal off the bench. Napoli, they're frustrating the shit out of their coach. I hope you know that.
He don't want coaching them, right?
He don't care. He's frustrated. But Raspadori came off the bench and scored the winner. So yeah.
I mean, they're still in it. One game a week. I don't know what he expects from them. It's not as if his teams have ever been known for playing fantastic football that like blew everyone else away, you know. So whatever.
Juventus tied 2-2 against Fiorentina. The little Thuram, Marcus, little brother, Kefren scored a brace. And that's the first time a Thuram has scored for Juventus in like 20-something years. So good for him.
Oh, the better one. Yeah. Good for him, man.
Yeah, I mean, he better be the better one. I mean, you've had all these fucking examples ahead of you. You better learn something, motherfucker.
Shit. Moise Kean scored, though.
Yes, sir.
Ever since Lethal Shoot has talked to him, he's been understanding it now.
Yeah, no, for real, I have to actually give props to Dina because that rant was really spiritual. I even felt a little bit scared. I felt like he called me a harder. And since then, Moise.
No, I did. Spiritually, of course.
But the thing is, since then, it's not the fact that Moise Kean is scoring goals. Like, that's great. Look at his overall body language. I don't really want to use that. Say, oh yeah, you wouldn't know. It's not, but I'm just genuine. Look at his overall body language. It's like confidence. Like there's a genuine confidence in his play, and I think it was exemplified by how he held off my man yesterday, and then he flexed afterwards, kind of thing. Moise Kean wasn't doing that, 6-7 weeks ago, kind of thing. There was like that belief in himself wasn't there. It's amazing what goals would do for you, man.
Absolutely. I'm just so happy for him, and I'm not so happy that he didn't celebrate against Juventus because whatever, man. I don't care if they raise you from the titty, nigga. Like fuck Juventus. They got rid of you, didn't they, nigga? Fuck.
Get rid of them. Milan and Roma was 1-1. Paulo Fonseca's reign ended. Yeah, I mean, he was a dead man walking.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of when.
Go on, Coach.
Go on.
I was just going to say, I suppose it was fair because of their league standing, but at the end of the day, I mean, he was like the 18th choice manager, shows up, his legs are cut off from under him immediately. His two best players are acting like jackasses the whole time. He never really stood a chance, and it's a shame because he's an easy guy to root for because he's one of the managers that actually wants to play interesting football. And they didn't support him. They undermined him the entire time, and now he's gone. Like he had to announce his own firing. Like like the media saw him leaving the premises and stopped them, and he had to let them know that I lost my job, which is just classless by Milan. Like ever since Maldini left, like until they fix that relationship, nothing will work for Milan. I don't care who they hire, who they buy. Some shit is just spiritual. Maldini must always be at Milan. And y'all motherfuckers came with your little headphones money and got rid of him and ruined everything. Ridiculous.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I think one of the more curious things is the fact that 6 months in, when you've got a coach who is completely and utterly different to what you've had in the past and literally to the last manager that you had as well, 6 months is no time for you to actually bed in what you need to what you need to do, kind of thing. Even till last week, he didn't know what his best 11 was. I can assure you of that. Like you actually need a lot more time than that, especially when Milan have come from, I forgot his name, the bald headed fella,
Pioli.
Pioli. So yeah, like Pioli and Fonseca are very different. You know, like there is. And
one has hair, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. And there's tons of debris and residue of his team there, kind of thing. Like it was really, really, I think it's just really unfair. Like if Milan was serious about a long-term project, you keep him and you don't go for this piece of shit that they got next. Like, I'm sorry. So
your cousin Shaw, your favorite?
Yeah. Just a cunt, man.
Yeah, he's a jackass, but I will say he has the authority of having won trophies. Which is something Fonseca didn't really have. I don't know what Pioli did before he ended up at Milan. I didn't follow his career like that, but I suppose you can make that argument, but it's like, just hire that motherfucker from the beginning, you know, like instead of doing what they just did. This was a waste of 6 months for everybody. Like no one benefited from this.
You know who turned them down? Sarri turned them down.
Really?
That man said, I'd rather just catch cancer at home than catch cancer at work. I guess Sarri turned it. What the fuck is he doing instead?
Who's Sarri?
Yeah.
Smoking Newports, bro. He tried a new cigarette pack.
That's ridiculous, man. Wow.
Yeah. He's not doing anything right now with his life, man. He's just straight up just chilling.
I mean, he's in his 60s, right? So I don't know. Maybe he's not a sicko like Ranieri.
Yeah, well, Ranieri is just doing whatever. You know what else is a sicko place? The Premier League. That's what we're going to go now. It's the Premier League. The Premier League was in a bit of a, when the holiday season. So, we're going to break this down a little bit. So we're going to do match day 18. City and Everton. City went up, and then Everton said, no, thank you. We're going to tie this up. So City have been a little shaky, but hey, that was a really good finish, by the way. So I enjoyed that.
What finish?
The Everton finish.
There you go. It's a podcast, nigga. We don't have video for people.
No, to be fair, in Day, I think he was due a moment against a big team this season. If you can call City that, I don't know. Are we allowed to? But yeah, I think he Everton struck gold with him, and if he wants to have a good career, then he should be looking to leave straight away. He's not a Dutch player, not at all. Yeah, not at all. Like he is. I think he's money for real. Really, really, really good player, man.
Yeah, we're gonna speed through match week 18 because you guys already know that. Newcastle beat Aston Villa 3-0. Controversial Jan Duran red card. I don't think it was a red card, but it was a red card. So,
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest beat Tottenham 1-0. Nottingham Forest have been balling this whole entire season. Morpheus White said it years ago. The guy's really good player. Chris Wood looks like a special player. Anthony Langa's using his pace. And Ola Aina has decided that he wants to wear baggy shorts and be a bully. So it's working for them. Bournemouth Crystal Palace 0-0. Kind of thought we were going to get goals in this one, but we didn't get any goals in this one. So there's that. Chelsea lost to Fulham 2-1. This made my heart smile because fuck Chelsea.
Fuck Chelsea always. First time Fulham have done this in 45 years.
Yeah, that's insane. First time in the Premier League history as well. That is
wow.
Mental. Yeah. Couldn't have timed it better. Generally couldn't have timed it better.
Yeah.
Great finish until the end there.
Yes. West Ham beat Southampton 1-0. West Ham are bad, but Southampton are even worse. So there's that. Another bad team, Man United, lost 2-0 to Wolves. Cunha didn't get suspended, but he basically suspended United defenders. They were dancing all over the fucking pitch. It was bad.
Yeah, man.
Bruno got a silly red card. Go ahead.
I was going to say that Olympico was pretty embarrassing. Like you don't
back weeks with Olympico, baby.
That's great. You'll never sing that.
Nope.
But yeah, it's wild that this dude snatched the glasses off somebody's face and got into that ruckus at Ipswich and has played two games since then. And the FA is not going to suspend him or anything. Like, what's going on, man? Like, is he getting the Paqueta cloak? What's going on here? Like, I don't understand. Because that nigga's still playing too. Why is that nigga playing? The gambler.
Yeah, I don't. There's so many players that I'm sitting there thinking, how are you still actually playing in the Premier League? Harry Maguire, for example, he tried to bribe a Greek police officer. Why isn't he in jail, bro? Like, there's so many criminals right now playing in the Premier League. What the fuck is happening?
No, Forest owned is basically a drug dealer, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Liverpool beat Leicester 3-1. Leicester's just bad.
Mm.
Jordan Ayew
I will say though, not too much on Liverpool, but yeah, they do like to give up a chance here or there, for real.
they even let Jordan Ayew score.
Yeah.
Not even,
But
man.
then you've got Mohamed Salah, so it actually doesn't matter if you give up a chance. It doesn't
Like, there's an
matter.
argument that if Jordan Ayew was born, like, I don't know, 5 years sooner or 5 years later, he would have been like a serious footballer for real, instead of an asshole that had a fake mohawk with a bald spot in the mohawk for like 5 years. Like, I don't understand that nigga, man. When he scored, I was like, this is the most pointless goal in the history of the Premier League.
Because you know what's coming next.
Liverpool got to slap and immediately like.
Brighton 0, Brentford 0. The Moneyball Derby was 0. So there's that. Arsenal beat Ipswich Town 1-0. Coach was at that game. Please go check that out. Please and thank you. He braved the cold and the weather for you guys, so please check that out.
Wow, sick.
Yeah, don't do that again out there spreading disease. You're a disgusting person. But yeah, coach braved the elements and went out there, and we didn't actually cover the game this time because we deserve holidays too. And let's be honest, Ipswich came there with, a full Mohamed Atta plan, so not really fucking with them niggas. Didn't want to talk about that bullshit ass game. Like, I literally hit Gabby up like, hey Gabby, let's record this Ipswich Arsenal game, and she was like, nigga, that shit was boring. I was like, you know what? You're right. Have a nice evening, my friend. And that was it. That's all we can do. So, but we'll get you on the flip side.
Yeah, I will say that just on that game in general, and just I suppose more on Kieran McKenna, he definitely understands what it means to try to restrict us. Because Ipswich have some good attacking talent, and he said, "Fuck that! You boys are not doing any of that today at all." Like, it was very much mid-block until we can't mid-block anymore. And then fuck it, you know what we do next? We go to a deep block until we can't deep block anymore. Like, that's all the plan was, straight like from the outset. And you could see him instructing his players. You also see the players who are sent in the pitch as well, trying to like remind each other, this is where we need to be when the ball's here, kind of thing. It was just very, very organized. They had no interest because they knew what would happen. Like, Palace came out against us and they got blasted. So much so that the Palace fans were fuming, absolutely fuming, that they tried to take us on. They were like, why aren't we sitting back? And I think Ipswich got the memo, basically.
I do want to make one point, a general point about teams that go to other teams' stadiums or at their own stadium decide to just spoil the game, essentially. They decide we're not going to play, we're going to try to get a point. Mm-hmm. If that game ends up being boring, blame the team that didn't want to play. It's not the winning team's obligation to entertain you. Your job is to get the points. Arsenal got the points in this game. Call it boring if you want. If Ipswich had attacked and the game was a little more back and forth, maybe you would have had more fun. Whose fault is that? The manager that tried to play or the manager that tried to stop the game? Mm-hmm. Let's be logical, people. I know you hate Arsenal, but please be logical about it a little. Like, sometimes, like once a week, maybe. Okay, I'm done.
And all Arsenal fans as well try to be logical as well. Don't be fucking.
No, that's a lost cause. There's a reason why I was specific about that. Don't do that.
Go to match week 19. Man City finally got a win. They beat Leicester 2-0. Leicester looked pretty decent, but
they what?
They look decent.
No, what? Man City did a what? They did a win.
Yeah, they did a win. win.
Oh man, barely.
Can you believe that shit?
barely. They barely deserve the win, I would say. Like, on the balance of play, obviously they were always going to control possession and all that shit. But Jamie Vardy missed a couple chances. He was offside in some situations where you'd expect better from him, given how good he's been at, essentially tracing people's offside lines for the last decade. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even say if Leicester was a better team. If Leicester were just in better form, they win this game. City are not anywhere close to getting out of this mess they're in.
Yeah. You know who's not in a mess? Not in Forest. They beat Everton 2-0. Chris Wood's finish was stupid.
It was just beautiful centre forward, like 2-man centre forward play. Ridiculous stuff, man.
Bruv, I took this nigga out of my fantasy team and put Cunha in.
I kept Cunha in mine, actually, to be fair.
I'm sick. Yeah.
And then Morgan Gibbs White rounded out the goals. Morgan Gibbs White is just wonderful.
Can we just be honest about Nottingham Forest in general, though? Like, Nottingham Forest are doing amazing, but we can't really compare them to like someone like a Brighton or a Brentford, right? For obvious reasons. Let's just be clear about that. They're not the feel good story that people are trying to kind of paint here. Like, let's not do that.
People like when people see a new name in the upper echelons of the league standings, they're always gonna try to turn it into a Cinderella story. I mean, like this is a team that essentially did the Chelsea plan on speed run. They even took the points deductions and all that. So it's not as if we're looking at the fucking paupers of Notre Dame. Making moves here. But that aside, it's nice to see Nuno back in England prospering. Because after he took that terrible job at Tottenham and things went sideways, he ended up in Saudi for a while. And you would think, okay, he's on his way to retirement. But he comes back to the Premier League, and now he's killing shit. And it's hard not to be happy for them. But
for Nuno, absolutely, and for Ola Aina, to be fair, very happy for them. But for Forest, I'm just like, whatever. Put the 3 points in the bag.
Yeah, pretty much. Just put the points in the bag. But I don't expect this to... I mean, I think they'll finish in the top half of the table. But I don't expect them to, as good as it's been and for as long as they've sustained it, I don't think they end up in the top 6.
I mean, Lawrence Fishburne is doing a great job coaching them. So good Crystal Palace beat Southampton 2-1. Tyler Dibling got a goal first, then Chalaban Eze. Good for Eze. We haven't heard Eze's name in a few. So
injuries are a bitch, man.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Nah, man, bro been trash too. A little bit. Let's be honest, bro been trash. But when your running buddy goes to Bayern and nobody else on the team is a real threat, you get a lot more attention. So it might take you a while to get a goal in that instance, but good on him. He's one of our guys.
Tottenham drew with Wolves 2-2. The first goal was beautiful. There was a picture after the game. Sorry, someone did a racism because there was a picture of Son and Huang together. Someone said Bentancur is losing his mind.
That whole Bentancur story, I'm still quite confused as to how he's been allowed to just kind of walk free and Son hasn't lamped him one, because that shit was insane.
He got suspended for 6 games.
Yeah, okay, suspended for 6 games. He needs to get his nose broken for like 10 weeks by Son as well on top of that, bro.
Hey, listen, man. If niggas didn't whoop up on Enzo, then Bentancur is fine. I mean, like, come on, man. Come on, man. These are clubs staffed with fucking weaklings and shit. Like, niggas like, what's a Wesley Fofana? What's a Badia Shield? Like, who's the most brolic black dude at Tottenham?
And Nico Jackson talking about posting shit about him playing with black chip, like fuck off, man.
Like a guy
that's the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life, man.
A guy that represents a country that's never fought a civil war. These niggas they're not even really black, but we're gonna do that on a different podcast. I'm gonna tell you all the black football players that are not actually black, according to SPS. We're gonna have that one in like 2 weeks. Don't worry about it.
It's just facts, by the way, guys. Let's not discount that. According to SPS, but it's facts.
You said who's the blackest player at Tottenham?
That's a good question.
Dragusin.
He's Romanian, not Albanian.
I was going to say Van de Ven, actually. I'm going to go Van de Ven.
See, and then you complain about pace and power commentary. Okay.
Anyways, Jurgensen had a beautiful finish at the end. He just smacked it. He was like, I don't care. I'm smacking the shit out of this ball. And that was 2-2, and that's all that she wrote. So there's that. Fulham Bournemouth was 2-2. This game was hilarious because when Otara scored the equalizer, I was talking to Dean and said, yo, that first touch scared the shit out of me. That first touch was heavy, boy.
But that second touch, though,
sexy. Do you reckon like he always had it in him, was like he just put himself in that corner where like there's nothing else he could do? Like he had to finish it that way because there was. Let's not pretend as if it was deliberate. If the first touch was correct, he's drilling it hard low across the goalkeeper.
He said that boy is from Burkina Faso. He got the AFCON technique. He not for real with that shit. But yeah, it was interesting because most of the season when I've seen him, he's been playing from the left and he hasn't looked very good, in my opinion. And that goal he scored was from the right, so maybe that's something for Iraola to keep in mind for future games, but fuck Bournemouth, man. They're doing too good for my liking. I don't like this shit. I need them to start sinking down the table. Like I don't like that shit.
By the way,
when did they play Liverpool next? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know, man.
Not soon enough.
2 things on this game quickly. They somebody dribbled and made Kukaresh do the splits. If you guys didn't see that shit, that was rude. Someone made Kukaresh do the splits. Second of all, Anthony Robinson, I'm tired of him looking like Kid from Kid and Play. It's annoying me, but.
I just think he's pretty much a Trent doppelganger, to be honest. which is hilarious in
I,
terms of not the way he plays, just
right.
being
I
light
just want
skinned.
to state for the record that I know he's having a great season and he has the most assists for a defender in the league and blah 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 blah. But I don't like him like you people like him. I want to be very clear. This is not anti-American sentiment or nigger hating talk, okay? Even though I'm both of those things. I just like if you watch this motherfucker for full 90s, like one moment of decisive play or someone converting a cross that he puts in doesn't all of a sudden make him an overall like he's very frustrating for me to watch on the ball. He makes so many bad decisions. Is he a good player? Yes. Is he the best left back in the Premier League this season? Shut the fuck up with that shit, man. Like he's not. He's just not.
I will say because of his athletic gifts and the fact that he's one of those players that does keep, no matter if he's having a good or bad game, he's just going to keep going kind of thing. I think that works in his favor. But yeah, I personally would like to see him at a high level just so I can be sure. Like for real.
Oh, someone should pay 50 million for a player that I'm shitting on just so you can be sure that he's good.
Yeah, let him go to Liverpool. Let him go to Liverpool.
Let him go to Liverpool. Let him go. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Let him go to Liverpool because I'm reasonably certain that whatever shit we're seeing with Robertson now, we're probably going to see the same shit just with a high top instead.
Yeah, that's a great segue because Liverpool beat the shit out of West Ham 5-0. Mohamed Salah.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Mohamed Salah, that thing he tried in the first half was an accident because he said after the game. The second nutmeg, he meant that. The first one, he did not mean that. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not even trying to be a hate. I'm just saying. However, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was out there on skates. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah. It's going to be a problem for his entire career. He doesn't know how to defend his back post. He never has and never will be able to. Whether he's playing right back, we're playing left back. He's just never, ever going to be able to do it. I don't care how good he is 1v1. It doesn't matter because teams will be like, okay, we're just going to put a player there who is more of a runner than a dribbler and you're fucked now, Aaron. So who cares? That's all that happens every time. Like,
man.
By the way, Dean, sorry to cut you off. Two girl names is not a good defender, by the way. Jean-Claire Todibo. It's not a good defender.
I'm not, it's tricky because, I mean, I haven't watched him enough here or anywhere else to really evaluate him as a player. But when you look at players and teams that are playing like this, West Ham right now, it's kind of hard to judge people, man. Like, because clearly the coach should not be there anymore. Like, he should have left before Gary O'Neill left, and he's still there, So, Pala Moyes is not really doing it, so I'm not going to shit on nobody. All I'll say to West Ham is I hope Mikel Antonio gets well soon because once he's fit again, we all know he's walking right back into that fucking team. Because it don't matter what happens to that motherfucker. He's walking right back. It don't matter who they buy, full Krug or double, so who, by the way, has been a bit of a flop. But again, the coaching, so what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Good.
Just on Liverpool in general, they're in such a good moment. Like, and moreover, I think Salah is in such a good moment. So this isn't going to be some hating shit. I know you've got quite a few Liverpool listeners who go, these niggas they never talk about Liverpool. Here's your moment, guys. Here's your moment. Halfway through the season, Liverpool deservedly are, top of the league. They have been the best side in the league. So yeah, you can have all of that shit. But just on Mo Salah in general, look, I don't think it's unfair to think that if he carries on this form, he could win the Ballon d'Or. Like, genuinely, if we're being really, really fair, like, what else can he? Because he carries on this form, Liverpool are going to walk away with quite a few trophies. Like, if we're being real, if he does, they'll walk away with a few trophies. So, like, what else does he have to do? On top of that, I think some credit has to go to Arne Slot as well, because while we can say, oh yeah, he's walked, like, they already had a settled team, whatever, blah blah blah. Yeah, okay, but sometimes players could be too indoctrinated into the last manager kind of thing. To get players to buy into the shit that you want to do kind of thing isn't always just easy. Like, yeah.
I don't know, man. Because basically what he's done he's basically told them, like, hey guys, how about we run a little less? Who don't want to run less?
so here's the thing with that. While I agree that they're a much more calmer team to play against in terms of the way they approach things, that counter press is still fucking nasty. They're still literally pressing you in your 6-yard box in open play or at goal kick. Like, they don't care. Like, they're still doing that, like, relentlessly. Kind of. There's a much more measured approach. Hence why most of Arne Slot's midfield has at least 2 passes in there. Hence why he might play Gravenberch with Jones and what's his name, Jones and McAllister, or it'll be Gravenberch and McAllister and someone else kind of thing. But he always has passes in that in his midfield now. So there's a clear change of approach there, and then just on the way that he's using the fullbacks as well. Like Trent is still doing whatever the fuck he wants, but Trent is overlapping as well, guys. Like there's you know, I don't want to hate on them kind of thing. Liverpool are doing the right things. Now, with that being said, they do love to give up a chance or 3 or 4. And that variant, second half of the season, might not go your way all the time. So
hey, we forgot the most important thing here.
West Ham suck. Yeah, we know. So.
No. Mohamed Salah's hair transplant has been flipping phenomenal. That's sign of the season. This is whoever did his hairline.
Yeah.
Gave that man a whole new lease on life. And shout out to Mohamed Salah's hair transplant because some people might need it, you know. So Mohamed Salah, please put the hair transplant in the bag and let us know who did it.
Yeah, it's LeBron's birthday, so yeah, let him know, please.
It's Dr. Cynic. It's always Dr. Cynic. Come on, guys. That's where the Arsenal lights go.
Let's move on, man. Ipswich beat Chelsea 2-0. Liam has been throwing around his girth and tonnage to everybody that wants it. And everybody that was going to get it is getting it from Liam Delap. He don't give a damn. He's throwing his weight around. And I saw him against Arsenal. He was trying against Saliba, and it didn't go his way, but he was trying. He tries every match day. But
he saved himself for disaster and whoever else the fuck was playing there. Cold Wheels or whatever. Yeah, he just saved his
Bad Shield. And Tosin and all kinds of weak ass named niggas and shit, man. Man. Yeah,
my theory is proven right, by the way. You notice older boys that decided to play for Nigeria have been turning it up, except for Tosin. So.
Hey, man, and don't nobody want that lanky motherfucker anyway. I will say though, it's really hilarious to watch. You know, we talked about McKenna a couple minutes ago and how he chose one approach to play against Arsenal and another approach to play against a team that was supposedly in the title race as recently as last weekend. It just go. I mean, I think this is a message to Arsenal fans, I suppose, because I know it's not fun to sit through teams deep blocking and mid blocking you, but it is a compliment. You know, that's essentially a manager saying we can't really compete with you guys toe to toe, so we're just going to block the spaces and see what we can get out of the game.
It's a sign of respect.
I think it's boring respect. I don't like to see it. I wish more people would have a go so, you know, I could watch my team play. But, you know, I'll let Coach finish this one out.
Just on the flip side, it's a sign of disrespect when a team comes out to play against you, like the way they did against Chelsea. Saying, fuck you, Chelsea. You ain't shit.
Yeah, the first thing Rory Delap does is unzip. Like, come on, guys. He don't respect you at all. He does not
straight
respect
away. Like, that's the funny thing. Like, everyone, like, Maresca is smart by taking the pressure off his players, which is good. You know, it's good management shit like that. Doesn't change the fact you've got a £1.5 billion squad, mate. Like, let's not kid ourselves here. So when people talk about, oh yeah, Chelsea they're in their phase on, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it. As far as I'm concerned, Chelsea should be top of the table. As far as I'm concerned, like, I don't want to hear about any sort of phase, this phase, that kind of thing. You spend all the money on all the players. You spend all the money on all the managers on hiring them and sacking them and hiring them and sacking them, kind of thing. Wait, like, I don't want to hear any of that bullshit.
Wait, so is Arsenal just setting all the trends for narrative conversation now? Like, were people talking about phases before Arteta showed up? Is that like a newer thing post Arteta?
I don't know. But it's just
I never heard it. I'm just saying. I never heard people talk about phases and shit. You know, so I like Maresca. I think he's doing a good job, but he should be doing a good job, as Coach said.
This is what I'm saying. So I don't want to. You know, I'm not being funny. You got Caicedo and Enzo as your two central midfielders, guys. Like, let's not take the piss here. Like, seriously. I mean, neither of them are better than Declan Rice. I'm sorry to say that. They all cost £100 million again, but one clearly looks £100 million. But again, let's not kid ourselves here.
Some people's clubs are throwing out Casemiro and Eriksen, but we'll get to that later.
But yeah, just in general, Chelsea, like, let's not like try to coddle them and shit like that. Yeah, and you've got Cole Palmer as well, so like own it, innit? If you're here because you spent £1.5 billion. Don't try to little horse this bullshit. Like, we can see it.
Aston Villa and Brighton was 2-2. They let a 5'2" Ghanaian score the equalizer. That's what Aston Villa did. So.
Great goal. Great team goal. One of those moments where you know, as much as I like Tielemans as a player, that was a moment where I was like, yeah, I see why Arteta was not interested. Because it's not that I'm saying the man should have done something that was impossible, but that's there was a moment in midfield during the build-up to that goal where João Pedro got the ball and sprayed it out wide and keeps running into the box before he sets Lamptey up for the goal. And the closest guy to him when he played that ball out wide was Tielemans. And I'm thinking to myself, any naturally physical player, not even midfielder, just a player that wants to be like Liam Delap. If Liam Delap was in that situation, after João Pedro plays that ball out wide, he just gives him a nudge, just bumps him, maybe even fouls him entirely, pulls him back, just does something. Even though the player has moved on, then João Pedro isn't there to set Lamptey up for the goal. And that's a frustration. No player is perfect. Every player comes with weaknesses. And as much as I enjoy Villa's midfield configuration, Tielemans is probably the most talented guy there, but he's also just so weak and slow.
And fat.
He just looks like he belongs at Manchester United, to be honest with you. Like right now, he feels like he belongs in that shitty ass squad that United needs to turn over.
I mean, listen, Man United would do very well with Yuri Tielemans. In fact, we'll do well with you in midfield.
You do not understand now, my nigga. I'm telling you. Like, if you want me in your midfield.
You don't understand now. Because I'm telling you now, these niggas lost 2-0 to Newcastle. Can I talk quickly? Because I'm very frustrated. I didn't want to say this on the timeline, but I'm gonna say it right now.
You can talk if you take your shades off, so we can see you cry, nigga.
Fuck the match going Man United fans. I said that from the bottom of my heart. I really don't like any of them. I don't like most Man United. The pint drinkers at Old Trafford, I don't like them. I hate you all. I've said this ad nauseam. I don't like you guys. I don't think that Joshua Zirkzee, he didn't do well. He hasn't done well so far at Old Trafford. But booing him, that's just trash. I'm sorry. That's just ass. And I've noticed United fans boo a certain hue of players at this club. They hate a certain hue of players. The journalists hate a certain hue.
They be booing all them white boys, man. It's crazy.
Listen, they only boo niggas at Old Trafford. Okay?
It's crazy, bro. It's
crazy. That shit, I don't give a fuck what you say. Like, and even the way some of these fans have been tweeting about Rashford, I'm like, yo, just call him a nigger. Call it at the end of the day. Just do it. Like at this point, just do it. Because everything at this club is bad, man. Like, you got leaks, you got mice, you got no money. Everything smells like shit. The kids look it's just bad. And I'm at this point right now where, guess what? Wednesday's the 1st, and rent's due, and that's what I'm caring about right now. Rent's due. Y'all can talk, because I'm sick of this shit. It's disgusting.
We haven't even got to United yet, though, man. What the fuck?
That's what we're doing right now. They lost to Newcastle.
Well, okay. I've got a question from one of our lovely listeners from Instagram. Mobo, shout out to you. She has asked, could we essentially just carry on the conversation that the commentator on the American broadcast that made at the end of the match, where he basically said, what's the difference between Amarin's system and the skill set of his inherited squad? So Dean, I don't know if you want to take that part, because there's a follow-up question to it afterwards as well.
Well, I think the results have made it very clear that his squad aren't really suited to his system. But we all knew that, and we all said that before he even showed up, which is where I have a little bit of an issue with Amorim. Like, he just got there, so he's probably the least of the problems at the club right now. But I do think as a manager, it's your responsibility to make the best of what you have. And even though I know his options are limited, I don't really feel like he's doing that. I don't feel like you need to have a slavish adherence to a system that has worked for you in the past, when the squad is clearly not built for it. Like, we could go player by player and go into the details of why they're not suited, but the results tell you all you need to know. So there's that bit. So it feels like there was a second part to that question that you want to direct to Tosin.
Yeah. So essentially, why isn't it working? And could he be in trouble, or should Anios give him time? So I'll answer that part. He's not in trouble yet. Anios can't afford to fire him, unfortunately. But yeah, why isn't it working? Kind of just more what Dean said kind of thing. I think it's interesting because when they played against us, they did go to a 4 at the back for periods of that game, especially in the second half, which I just think, well, maybe just do that a bit more often. That's how the team was kind of comprised initially. And then when you get to summer, potentially even January, make maybe 1 or 2 signings if you can, to kind of get closer to what you want. Go on.
He spoke about January, by the way, and I quote, "We don't have that possibility in January. You know that situation on strengthening the team in January."
Yeah, there we go. So, and the final part is she's just thinking about the time Arteta got to settle in versus the approach Chelsea have taken to find form of Maresca kind of thing.
Can I answer that?
Go
This is something I said before we recorded. I think a lot of people forgotten like what their squads are like before their certain coaches took over, like Liverpool and Arsenal. And it's obviously different hands in different situations. Arsenal has a much better scouting system. They actually know how to go get players instead of going to 5'7" Argentine. Arsenal want to go get a big Brazilian named Gabriel instead. So it's like some of these teams have better recruiting, right? Liverpool want to go get Van Dijk in January. That's what they did. United, meanwhile, have pissed about almost £1 billion on Eric Ten Hag's, former Ajax and whatever. And that's part of the issue is that United don't recruit well versus these other clubs. Like, yes, like these clubs are obviously trying to rebuild and trying to redo things. But when the scouting matches the coaching, you're going to eventually, your tide will turn. But this club right now, they spent so much money on so many players that need to get sold. Like Rasmus Højlund was a prospect. That boy is not a football player. He should be on SmackDown.
Wow, you gave up on him already? Damn.
It's his second season, to be fair. Okay.
He should be fighting with Ricochet. That's what he should be doing every week. That's what he should be doing. Slapping Ricochet's bald head. So it's like you got things like that. Like the recruitment is just not good. And it's like there's so many players that United got rid of that shouldn't have got rid of. Like, I hate to admit this. Like Elanga, for example, right? You can't teach pace. Like it's just certain little things that you like, you're
I don't know, Tosin. This feels. I'm not saying you guys have done a great job of recruitment, but when everyone you recruit shows up and they stink, whose fault is that? It can't all be the players all the time.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not blaming the players. All I'm saying is that like the club is not doing a good job of just putting everything together. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not blaming the players. Some of these players should not have, like Xerxes was misprofiled. That's another big misprofile, right? But again, you're taking Ten Hag signings and putting into a 3-5-2 system. It's not going to work. So, yeah.
Oh no, man. It's a shame. It's a shame, but bless you, nigga. But it's a shame that brings me much joy.
Sure. If you hate United, you're having a great time.
It's at this point I've gone beyond hate into utter indifference. All I do is chuckle. It's nice. It doesn't hurt anymore when you guys do well. So that's good. I've gained a lot from this situation. The most frustrating thing about all of this to me is that this could be Ruud van Nistelrooy. Okay, Ruud van Nistelrooy should be the one answering these questions, dealing with these problems. And Amorim should have come in for preseason, fresh team, some new transfers, all that. I just feel as if they're damaging the man's aura by having him be the one dealing with this shit right now. He shouldn't be dealing with this shit. It's not as if Van Nistelrooy is doing something great at Leicester right now. He could be at United losing. No problem. You just use him as the guy before the guy, But It's too late for that now. It's too late.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
I think that's it for me.
Same. I'm done. Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New Year, everybody. Y'all take it easy. Peace.
Hey, folks, this is Dean from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.